Oh. It must be Saturday. It gotta be.
In your eye, right?
Yeah.
Got Bandit right here at RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now. And to my left or right, whichever, however it comes out, is the ubiquitous lot Yada Bear, aka High Ceilings,
What's going
literally,
on?
aka Rain, Slate, Snail, or Snow. You already know how the Philly
Already know.
thing go. What's good, Browski?
Man, now I'm chilling, college football, week one,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Talk
got
about
a
it.
little fall preview outside, it was nice and
Mm-hmm.
cool,
Mm-hmm.
football on the TV, some meaningful baseball on TV,
Okay.
it is the season that we all love. We've been waiting for this next week NFL start, this is the glory time. We are in our
Glory
prime
time.
right here. We are loving this right here. All my sports heads, they know this time right here. Going into September is like sports heaven. Everywhere you look is something to watch, something to talk about, and that's why we here tonight because
That's
there's
right,
some
baby. That's
things
right.
to talk
Absolutely. Word is
about.
born. That's right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Shout out to Cheech and Chong. Word up. But anyway, we're in the building, man. Down in sports is in your face and in your eye. College football week one official in the building, still going on as we speak. A lot of games going on, a lot of upsets, a lot of surprise folks gonna be walking around tonight in the days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What we want to start at, Kim?
I mean, we can start with the biggest game,
Okay.
of this weekend. We started out this weekend strong with number one Texas at number three Ohio State, and it definitely was not the game that we expected. Um, it was a lackluster on one side.
She couldn't wait to say.
We
She couldn't wait to say that, y'all.
I couldn't.
She
We have
couldn't wait to
been
say that.
waiting, since last season. We got little pieces, little previews of this guy by the name of Arch Manning. He has the golden last name, the golden ticket, and his first year starting, and all during the off season we've been hearing nothing about all about Arch Manning. What team speculating to potentially draft this guy in the upcoming draft. How he could be just as good or even better than his uncles. That he's
He's definitely gonna be
continuing
better than
the
his granddaddy.
well, yeah, continuing the Manning legacy.
Right.
Into from college into the next level. But what we saw today can make some people raise their eyebrow. Look like, is this the guy we've been waiting for? Is this the guy that they've been hyping up? Um, he had a interesting start to his
Very
uh,
interesting.
collegiate career at Texas of being the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a good showing. It wasn't good. Now we can ponder the question: is Ohio State defense just that good? Because they did bring in, you know, a multi Super Bowl champion defense coordinator and Matt Patricia, you know, bringing that NFL style defense to Ohio State. So we can point to that and say, well, look at the look at what type of defense they was playing against. And if you guys remember last week when I was speaking about this game, the one thing I brought up was we didn't know what Ohio State defense that we was going to get. The defense that will give up 35, or the defense that would just give up 7 like we seen today. And we got that defense. Um, so we can say, was Texas not that good, or was Ohio State defense just that much better? Because I can't just put all the blame on Arch. I gotta look at Steve Sarkisian. You know, you should have these guys prepared, ready. You guys are supposed to be the number one ranked team, and you guys did not look like a number one ranked team on either side of the ball. You know, either side. And even though you'd be like, well, how can you say that? They only gave up 14 points, but it didn't seem like it was much resistance. I put that to maybe Ohio State quarterback, you know, freshly starting this year. Maybe the lights was a little big, first big game, but he still put up 14 points, and he didn't look bad. He made the throws he's supposed to make. Ohio State heavy run game. You know, they rely on the run, which is understandable when you have that young of a quarterback back there. But when I look at Texas, we didn't get any of that. It was no creativity on the offensive side. It was like no motions, no, flashy looking type of plays. It was like a very vanilla offense. And it's like, well, is it because maybe Arch is not picking up on it? Or Sarkisian doesn't really trust him like that.
Oh.
It's a couple of questions that we can throw out there. But what they showed us last year in a small sample size was that Arch was very mobile. We didn't see him being mobile in this game at all. It was no rollouts, not many quarterback keepers, not a lot of design run plays for him. Because last season, when they was in the red zone, when they swapped him out, he was doing quarterback draws, quarterback keepers, roll out short passes, and we didn't see that at all. And they had a failed attempt of doing the tush push. Everybody can't do that. You gotta have the right personnel, and their offensive line isn't equipped. And Arch is small; he's not that strong, and it didn't get a good push at all. It looked crazy. I feel like if you're gonna attempt to do something like that, you gotta perfect it. Like, you gotta keep practicing that before trying it out in the game, and especially on fourth down. Like, they got stopped twice in the red zone, fourth down. Like the tush push, and then what was a pass with the receiver. He should have caught. It was like it was right in his hands. He didn't. I feel like he didn't really fight for the ball. Like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I know it's week one. You know, it's week one. The rest of the schedule is a little bit cupcakey until they play, I believe, Florida. I mean, it is. I mean, if we look
Yeah,
at
you're
it,
right. You're right. You're right.
a little cupcakey until they play Florida in October. So it's like we gotta wait because they got Florida and then they got Oklahoma. So they got two ranked teams. Hopefully, they still will be ranked teams back to back. But we gotta wait till October to see, you know, how they stand up to another ranked team. But how you feel about the game?
I was, ready to watch a good football game between two high-ranked teams, and again, I wasn't really expecting a lot, because the nerves and the atmosphere, and before I get started, salute Lee Corso.
Yes.
Absolutely, man. I thought that the thing with the Ohio State band was kind of, was dope,
Mm,
anticlimactic though, because I thought he was gonna dot the I. That would have been bananas if Lee Corso would
yeah.
have got the eye. But respect to that man,
Yeah.
absolutely for everything that he's done, man, and all of that. And nobody better not try to come behind with the mascot heads and all
With
that,
the
because it'll be
headgear, you
corny.
can't. Yeah, you
You
can't.
can't do it.
That's him.
That's over with, right?
Yeah.
To the game, we knew what was going on coming in. Arch Manning with all the hype and the family name, which is nepotism at its finest. We know that. Ohio State, they really have a argument. National champions beat these dudes in the semifinals last year. So again, the crazy um, undefeated streak for home openers, big game.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, I think that the powers that be knew what they were doing when they made Texas number one and Ohio State number three. They didn't want to come into this crazy behind football season with a number one, number two matchup. They did not want to do that. They're gonna save that for later on, right? That's just my thought. Um, but us over here at Down in Sports on, put Texas one, Ohio State two, because no, Ohio State wins, boom, it makes the job easy. You know who's number one, whatever. You deal with the other
Yep.
stuff later. But going on to the game, those fourth down, they went back to back with fourth down stops. They stopped
Mm-hmm.
Texas. Texas stopped them. Um, couple of drop passes by the kid. Who was the kid? Jeremiah Smith, for Ohio State. Couple
Yeah.
early drops by him. They said it was the gloves, could be nerves, whatever. Um, Arch Manning, 17 for 30. You know what I mean? Pedestrian numbers, 170 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Pedestrian numbers, right? Um, I think he played nervous now because he's sat and watched for 2 years. He's been raised by alleged quarterback royalty. Not no disrespect, but it is what it is. Peyton and Eli are his uncles. Cooper, who is Archman's dad, was a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not trying to, but Browski, I'm gonna say this. I kind of don't want to play into the hand of like he's not that good. Sarkeesian, they're gonna be all right. Now, number one draft pick and all of that, that's a little bit extreme. They jumped out the window. So now all those people who said that, they got some explaining to do. But all they're gonna do is say, like you just said, oh, it's the first game. It's an indicator because this is a team you're gonna probably see in January.
You gonna see him again.
You're gonna
You're
see
not
them
gonna
again.
see. You're not gonna be playing Sam Houston in January.
Carrollton State. You know
Oh,
what
I
I
said,
mean?
you're not playing them guys.
We would F Austin up this one. So I
Yes.
feel like, the 14-7 score when it was seven nothing going into the fourth quarter, I said, oh, this will be good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Again, I think that the defenses, did what they needed to do, and they put some respect on. Texas defense put some respect on their name. Ohio State defense put some respect on their name. You take advantage of the little mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that Sarkeesian is definitely going to talk to those guys about, like you said, that attempted tush push thing, because
Yeah.
they should have scored on one of those drives.
They should have scored on one of them.
It would
It's
have changed the
ridiculous.
whole complexion of the game, I
It
think.
would have. It would
Right?
have.
So when you get into the fourth quarter with the score 7-0 and Arch Manning not really being Arch Manning,
They're
you know what
not
I'm
cooking.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we gonna do? So again, I was just once the fourth quarter started, I just kind of wanted to see if they were gonna turn up the tempo. And Ohio State, knowing that they got one of the best defensive players in the nation, Caleb Downs, made the big play at the end of the game. And we always say, well, more Browski than me, big players do big things in big
There you
games,
go. There you
right?
go.
So I feel like this one, it was a good game. Um, Texas wasn't ready for the number one spot. But the excuse, see, we already know what these cats gonna say, right? Texas is not going to drop no lower than fourth or fifth. If they
Yeah.
do, I would be surprised if Texas dropped lower than fifth, because being that Penn State
Um,
won, Georgia won, and I mean they didn't get blown. You know
they
what I'm
get
saying?
blown out. Yeah, yeah. I could see him at 5.
Yeah, they didn't get blown
I
because
could
they're
see
gonna
him
want
at
to keep
5.
Texas around. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Penn
So,
State
but and then
won.
remember this, Bowski.
Yeah.
Ohio State lost 2 games last year.
Yes, they did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
they did.
um, I feel like you're I mean,
It's
you
a
take the loss
quality
in
loss.
September, huh?
I said it's a quality loss. They lost
Yeah,
to Ohio State, the
it's
defending
quality
national
loss.
champion.
And now, if you're Texas, and like Browski said, your schedule is kind of cupcakey the rest of the way until you get to Florida, I think you said.
Yeah,
So
Florida.
you're gonna have to like whoever you playing week. Let me what's Texas schedule? Let me look and see what Texas schedule is, man. Because whoever they get ready to play the next couple of weeks,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
it's gonna be a problem of the world today for them. Whoever they playing. Let me find out who Texas is playing. One second. Let me see what the schedule
Hold on, I
is
tell
looking
you,
like.
1 second.
Texas. Let me see. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. Bung Mung. They got San Jose State,
Exactly. Come on now.
UTEP, and
Exactly.
the aforementioned Sam Houston.
Exactly.
They might
Like,
as
come
well be
on.
playing. They might as well be playing Sam Jackson. You know what I mean?
E- e-
Then they got
Exactly.
Florida at
So,
Florida. Go ahead.
yeah,
They got at
yeah.
Florida. Then they got Oklahoma. Then they play Kentucky
Mm-hmm.
at Mississippi State, Vanderbilt at Georgia, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And they close out with Texas A&M.
Come on now.
So if Texas doesn't get their act together, they might end up out of the picture. Because you're looking at Ohio State beating them. They still got to play Florida. They still got to play Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And now for me, this is just me talking. You know what I mean? Arch Manning is kind of like put himself into and I say himself because he's the one out
Uh-huh.
there on the field that's got to diagnose those defenses, got to look through his progressions, right? Got to use his feet sometimes when he really don't want to because he can. That's supposed to be part of his game. He's supposed to be a 5 tool. So again, at the first when you're 4th and 1 and Sarkeesian is trusting you, you can make 12 inches, right? So against the type of defense that they played against, Ohio State was amped to charge. 14-7 was a really, really low score. You know what I mean? But again, it was survival of the fittest. And Ohio State, do they have what do you call it, Browski? The formula. Do they know how to beat Texas? They done beat Texas with Quinn Ewers. They done beat Texas with Arch Manning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they have that thing. And now are we going to put some respect on Ryan Day's name until they play Michigan?
It's always, it's always
You know
until
what I
they play
mean?
Michigan.
So yeah, salute to Ohio State. You know what I mean? Down in Sports Talk, left handed does it again. You know what I mean? Again, I'm gonna call this year, Browski. I'm gonna call it like I see it, straight
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? And again, not to quote a movie that's out right now. I like to go from the lowest to the highest, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And again, I just be doing my thing. When we talk about a sports show, it's kind of a thing like we look at the history, we look at what's happening currently, and we kind of like do our own analysis of it. It doesn't have to be um, numbers heavy because I think we come from an eye test era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we
What your
believe in
eyes
what
show.
we see, we believe in
Yeah.
what we see. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna jump out the window and say, "Oh, because this guy is supposed to be heavily this and heavily, and he comes from a bloodline of this." So what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So again, I think this is a word. 4 words are gonna have to hang on Arch Manning for the rest of the season. Prove it to me. Everything about Arch Manning was cool until the Heisman stuff. Like, come on, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Alabama and Florida State. Browski. We
I didn't
started
see
off.
that coming.
Nope, didn't see that coming. Did
Didn't see
not
that
see that
coming at
coming at
all.
all.
Like we was talking behind the scenes. Like it started off as like a typical Alabama game. They was running the ball down Florida State neck. You know, um, you know, pitch and catch catches. And passes. It was very easy. Then,
Allegedly. Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly. And then, you know,
Allegedly.
Alabama score, 7-0.
So okay, this is
And then
this is.
at a blink of the eye, it was 7-7. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then it
Then
was
they
like,
got.
wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then another score. And then I'm like, whoa, what happened to Alabama's defense? The defense the defense only played in the first quarter. I want to say that like running out the gate, first two of Florida State possession, the defense was playing. After that, they left the building because I, I was so surprised. Alabama was the team, one of the teams that we was looking at the rankings and we was like, well, you think Alabama's too low? We
Mm-hmm.
sitting
Too
here,
much Alabama name, right?
questioning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Clemson, being what, fourth, and we're like, well, is Alabama, too low? Should Alabama and Clemson swap places? Well, apparently today Florida State told us, nah, Alabama should be lower.
Mm.
You know, um, this game, like I said, this was unexpected. Um, I would say only Florida State fans would have been like, they're gonna take it. I feel like anybody outside of Florida.
Florida boy Jay didn't even think that Florida. He's like he's on strike. I spoke to Florida boy Jay last week. I said, yo,
uh,
you got to give your team, which is Florida State, a little bit of a chance, a puncher's
I give them
chance.
a chance, right?
He was like, nah, I'm a boycott and this and that. I was boycott. So what you went come back until they start winning again? To me, that's kind of whack. But again, at the end of the day, how you move is how you move. But I said, yo, watch out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alabama might end up winning, but Florida State they're gonna know they were in the game. But I bet you they know they was in the game now.
Oh, they
All due
definitely knew.
respect to Florida State, they did what they had to do. The kid Castellanos,
Castellanos.
all right, put some Nick Castellanos on them because they was beating Alabama with baseball bats,
Everything.
pine tar, fastballs. They was beating them with everything. But again, um, I'm going to say this to Coach Steve Sarkisian. I'm going to say this to Coach DeBoer from Alabama. It's probably a good thing that you lost this early.
Maybe.
Now, the thing is not to lose again. Because now it's like Texas played Ohio State, Alabama,
You
and
lost to
Florida
an
State. Now, see,
unranked.
that's the balance, Browski. We got Texas, and Ohio State over here. It's like, okay, that's a nip and tuck. Either way, we knew allegedly what was going to happen in the Alabama Florida State game, but we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
kind of like balances out. Like either we do or we don't, but we can justify it by Georgia blowing out who they played, Oregon blowing out who they played, Penn State blowing out Nevada. You know what I mean? So again, the only team who didn't hold their corner as of right now is Alabama.
Exactly. And and for them to lose to an
Way
unranked
they
Florida
did,
State,
yeah.
that's a bad look. So,
Yep.
if we can expect Texas to probably drop to like 5, where did that leave Alabama?
Out the top 10, out the top 10. I might put Alabama. I mean, because your votes, we're gonna do our votes Tuesday. Um, I might put Alabama out of the top 12. They might have, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna look at, wait till tomorrow night's game, then Monday night, I'm gonna see what happens. But yeah, Alabama, they might be on the outside, way outside looking in, because we're talking about
right.
straight the schedule, right, Bansky? Like, you know
Straight,
what I mean?
yeah.
Straight the
You come
schedule.
on, strength of schedule. You unranked
Yeah, you
team.
got beat by nobody. No disrespect, Florida boy Jay. My bad. Charlie Ward, salute. You know what I mean?
and
You got beat
on the
by a
road
team.
unranked.
Yeah, go ahead, Browski.
Like you ranked eighth. You inside the top 10, and you lose to an unranked Florida State.
Eighth
You
is
know,
playoff material.
yeah. So I gotta. I may have to put them like depending on the rest of the outcome of this. I may have to put them like maybe at 12, maybe 11,
You
12.
still giving them a look? Okay, okay,
I still
okay.
give them a look because depending on the outcome, because cause you got South Carolina at 13, you got Illinois at 12, and Arizona State at 11. So I'll probably give them around like 11, 12, the worst 13. The worst 13. But
I would have to put them on the outside looking in just because.
just
You
just because
wasn't
of the
supposed to lose
unranked.
like that. I can't
Yeah.
put no respect on your name. When you lost like that, and you're supposed to be one of
Yeah.
those top, up, I would say top, Browski, because the SEC is loaded, as we know. You're supposed to be one of those top, those upper echelon squads, right? Those teams that you're supposed to say, oh, put some respect. Oh, here come Alabama. They're going to run up and down the field. They're going to score 40, 50 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I may have to backtrack that too because
uh-huh.
I forgot they gave up 31 points.
Mm,
It wasn't like a field goal at the end, a
right,
touchdown at the
right,
end. They gave
Kim.
up 31 points,
And
so
they had the lead.
they did. But then, like I said, that's when I know it was another score, and then another score.
They opened up a can of whoop ass on them.
I'm
That's
like,
it.
where's the defense, Alabama?
Yep.
What happened to the defense?
Yep.
But
So I
that,
mean, such is life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It happens. Let's talk about some better things. Georgia went out there and did their business, handled their
Georgia
business today.
definitely did.
You know what I mean? Again, with Carson Beck transferring to Miami, the kid, his name, he got a funny name, the Georgia quarterback now. His name escapes me, but they went out and handled their business as they should,
Mm-hmm.
because every week is going to be a war of attrition. Every
It
week.
is.
You know what I mean? So if you don't handle your business, people's not going to talk about you. And if they talking about you, they're not ranking you. And if you ain't ranking you, you're not doing nothing, because you got
Correct.
teams that's hungry, teams that's
Yep.
ready. And again, Browski, we down in sports, we're not jumping out the window after week one. But again, this is our what do you say, reaction to it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because we was gonna have a reaction regardless of who won or who lost, or how they played or how they looked. We was gonna
Yeah.
have a reaction. But Alabama losing the way they did,
Shocking. I'm still shocked. It was crazy.
somebody better watch this. Watch this. Somebody better check on Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa and
Now
Nick Saban.
Jalen repping Oklahoma. Yeah,
He already up in Oklahoma today.
he was repping Oklahoma today.
Oh man, but
But
yeah, yo. Oh,
you know Georgia.
another squad that went down crazy. They're not, they were a squad that we were talking about putting some respect on their name, and we were going to see what they were going to do. Boise State,
Well,
South Florida put the beats on them.
let me say this.
Uh huh.
Maybe Genty should have won the Heisman Trophy because now they act like they can't. They don't know how to play football in Boise State without Genty there running the ball. It
Mm,
was embarrassing. Embarrassing.
mm,
Like
mm, mm.
Boise State got smacked.
One handle. They got
Okay,
smacked in the mouth.
they got smacked right in the mouth. They they came back down to reality. It was like y'all Boise State. You know, y'all y'all not Clemson or LSU or Penn State or Michigan.
Right, right. You're a team that were getting in on the strength of who you were beating. You know what I mean? And your records was crazy. You know what I mean? So again, people's putting respect on your name, but until they stopped. But South Florida, this might be the win of the year for them because their schedule is kind of crazy. at Florida, at Miami, South Carolina State, Charlotte, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, at Memphis, UTSA, at Navy. But again, a win is a win is a win is a win, especially in week one. Down in Sports Talk in the building, Browski's in the house, Left Handed is in the house. We're doing what we do. We're doing our reactions to week one of the college football season that just kicked off. We are in the building, absolutely, definitely holding it down. Myself and Yada Bear, we got some things coming up. Um, to the Down in Sports Talk crew, Facebook Live page and all that. You already know what it is. Get your picks in. We need to get your picks in. All right, because I got to record everything right before the Thursday night game. So I'm gonna say to you, get your picks in. Um, because this year, man, we ain't
I
taking no
got kicked out.
shorts. Right? Champ is here.
Yeah, I got
Champ is
kicked
here.
out.
Right, don't worry about it. The
What
champ is
happened?
here. We're in the building. Just telling the people, Facebook, get your picks in. Oh man, I'm gonna say Thursday by 5 o'clock. Get your picks in for week
Yeah.
one on
Yep.
Thursday at 5.
Yeah.
Because everything's going to get recorded and I need time to record stuff and put it down. So you rocking with us down in sports, Facebook group, the football season thing. You know how we give it up. Shout out to Slate, shout out to Sean Strong, Sonny Cruz, Kia, Yada
Yeah.
Bear, everybody who gets down with us, yo. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm gonna pop my collar because that's what I do when I after I, when I win. You know what I mean? So
Um.
again, I'm getting a belt. You know what I mean? So I could be like on some wrestling thing. But again, at the end of the day, this season should be very, 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 very interesting in the NFL. But we're going to talk about that because we got the preview coming Tuesday. We got to do it Tuesday. You know what I'm
Yes, we
saying?
do.
So at the end of the day, Yada Bear's going to be in the building. We already know her Super Bowl pick. We already know that,
I
right? And
mean,
you, go ahead, Dosky.
I mean, the way it's looking right now, the NFC East, they can just hand us another NFC East title. You know, we be we'll start winning them back to back since we haven't had a back to back NFC East champion, in some years. Especially with Jerry Jones keep doing his Jerry Jones thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Let's.
loving it.
Yeah. Again, he's not making himself look. What's the word I'm looking for? Sane. He's not making himself look very. Or he's looking senile,
Yeah,
right?
very much his
Again,
age.
my nephew tried to do the trade in the Madden, and it wouldn't even allow him to do the
Oh
trade.
no, it won't let you trade.
It
It
won't
won't
let
let
you.
you do
It,
that. Because even
no.
Madden, even the video game know that this doesn't make sense.
Even the
This
video
doesn't
game,
make
this
sense.
thing is bugging.
It don't make sense at all. And
Right?
it's crazy that it came to this point where you trade a generational talent, a future Hall of Famer, a guy that's out there, causing havoc on the field for two first round picks that's going to be between 22 and 32, um, and a defensive tackle that's 30 years old already. Because, tackles, 30s, that's kind of old for linemen, he's on the down, he might be on the downward, arch of his
Mm-hmm.
career.
Mm-hmm.
um but that's all you got. Like, you got nothing for Micah's value. You didn't get equal
Nothing.
value at
You got
all.
nothing.
And the crazy thing, I'm listening to Cam Newton talking on First Take, and I'm like, this guy is bugged out, thinking that the Cowboys won this trade. You know, how can you think that by what they just got back for this guy? You only got two first round picks. Micah at least demands three first round picks and probably a second round or a third round pick. And it's Jerry's fault because he waited so late to trade this guy that
Finally make a
you
move, right?
that you only had the option to trade with Green Bay. Yeah, that was your only option. If you
What the
had
hell
in
is
your
wrong with
mind,
Dallas? First it was
what
Luka
it
Doncic. Now
now
it's
now is
Michael Parsons.
now it's Michael Parsons. It's like he he was so delusional in his mind that he thought that he could finesse him and
Mm.
keep him there instead of thinking that like he thought that he would never leave. Because Micah did say on his podcast that he was a lifer. He told Jordan Love that he had Jordan Love on his podcast, and Jordan Love asked him if he would play for another team, and he was like, "Nah, I'm a lifer." And it's ironic that we are talking to Jordan Love, and he got traded to Green Bay. You know, that's so ironic with that, but
Um,
I love it.
I don't know
I
if
love
Jerry
it.
Jones was. I know you do. I know you
I
do.
love
It's
it.
all good. Um,
I want him to stay.
why did Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones traded him inside the conference.
Yeah,
Jerry Jones, after he paid Dak Prescott and then extended
ridiculous,
Dak Prescott,
ridiculous
CeeDee
amount of money,
Lamb,
ridiculous amount of money,
and then he paid Dexter Lawrence some money.
too much
And
money.
and again, Michael Parsons is looking at this. And Jerry Jones, and like you said, you used I want to play off of what you said. You said he was delusional. Absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Who you think you was playing? Because again, at the end of the day, if you felt like you was negotiating with Micah Parsons exclusively, one-on-one type vibe, I know Jerry Jones didn't think Micah Parsons was going to read the paperwork. So who is he taking his paperwork to?
exactly.
Who's reading this paperwork? I don't give a damn if he said, yeah, we shake on it, we got a deal, this and that and the third. That's fine. Well, that's beautiful. Mwah. That's beautiful. But once the paperwork gets finalized and the I's get dotted and the T's get crossed and all that, now I got to take it to my lawyer. Yo, what does this paragraph mean right here on page 38?
Mm-hmm.
What's this clause? How can we switch this? Micah's not doing that. Micah's not his own agent, and Micah did it exactly how today's athlete would do it, I guess.
Yep.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
got to have somebody to represent you, right? So Jerry
Always.
Jones thought, like you said, Jerry Jones thought, like, oh, I got me one here. Really? Micah Parsons said, I got me one here.
Exactly.
And you
I'm out of
and
here.
so, they played chicken, and Jerry Jones lost.
Yes, he did.
And now I'm talking to Dallas Cowboy fans. Salute to my man Malcolm Buzzy A. Salute to my man. They're like taking it well. Well,
I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't know
listen,
why.
hey man, I don't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
me neither.
But I'm looking at y'all whole franchise, yo, as all the money y'all spend unnecessarily, mind you, all the money you spent. You gave Dak Prescott how much million, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then you extended him. So that means you gave him
This
more
guy
money.
making 60 million a year.
You gave
60.
him more money. CeeDee Lamb was on the same. You gave him money. A bunch of other dudes on the Dallas Cowboys. You paid Zeke,
Mm.
right? You paid Dexter Lawrence. Like again, at the end of the day, we all know whatever money that these owners end up giving these players, they're making 3 times as much, 4 times as much. The owners is not paying you if they're not going to get the return on their investment. They own the team. They're paying to keep you around. Because at the end of the day, the NFL, we all know, Browski, look, check this out. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. Literally. You could be the golden dude and all that with the arm and all the touchdowns and the MVPs and all that. Get hurt one time and watch what happens.
That's why it's called
Go
not for
out of knee.
long.
Tear an
Not,
ACL.
yeah, you out of
Break
here.
a leg. Then they'll have you bouncing all over the league like Adam Thielen. So again, for me, Jerry Jones, you just created another. Why do I say this, Bowski? Laughing stock situation because the whole league is laughing at you, B. No matter how
Not
you try to spin it.
definitely.
Oh
Oh,
well, our run defense wasn't. This is not all them highlights I see. The Micah Parsons.
but
What run defense are you talking about?
but this right here
Come
is
on, Bowski.
now is going to highlight their run
Mm-hmm.
defense.
Let's
And
go.
guess who they play week 1? Come on now. You
Saquon might
play,
do a cartwheel of.
okay? So you want to emphasize run defense so much. Stop us.
I'm telling
Stop
you,
us.
Saquon might. He ain't gonna jump backwards over. He might do a cartwheel over one of them dudes. Like this is crazy.
Okay?
You know what I mean?
So now our eyes is going to be laser focused
Mm-hmm.
on the Dallas Cowboys run defense. Okay, because now, all of a sudden, we want to stop the run. We want to stop the run. That's the most important part of it. And now, since he's gone, now you want to, start airing out dirty laundry. Oh, his
Yeah.
podcast was
Yeah.
distracted. Nobody,
Yeah.
he wasn't liked in the
Yeah.
locker room. But when he was there, he was doing a podcast since he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had issues at all.
And why you
Because
think that is, Kimmy? And because now everybody's running off at the yak.
yeah, it's because he's going now. It's because he's going, and they gotta
But why did they say
try to
that when he was
paint
there?
because they gotta try to paint him as the villain, like because he requested a trade. So now, if they try to make him look like the bad guy, then it's like, oh, well, Jerry had to trade him. He was a cancer in the locker room. Nobody liked this guy.
Right. That's what I was. There you go, Browski.
Everybody likes Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes CD.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody really liked
Everybody.
Micah. His his
Mm-hmm.
his his podcast was a distraction. It was causing altercations in the locker room. But why didn't we hear any of this while he was still a Cowboy?
That's a good question.
Yeah, but you know
That's
what
a
we're gonna
damn good
find out?
question.
We're gonna find
You know,
out how much he likes Dak when they play each other. What, week 4?
September 28th,
Yeah,
on a Sunday night, mind you.
on a Sunday night game. So everybody's gonna be watching that game. They ain't gonna get one. They ain't gonna get the most views. What? Everybody's gonna be tuned into that game because now everybody is gonna be now. This is Michael Parsons' revenge game.
Mm.
And again, I want to see how amazing this run defense is going to be because you telling me that Kenny Clark is the
Mm.
guy is going to flip your defense
Mm.
and be that amazing run stopper. I'd rather go to war with Kenny Clark instead of keeping Micah Parsons, who still had 1 year left on his contract, and they could have franchise tagged him the following year. But, I don't know nothing about contracts and things like that, because this guy had a podcast and he talked about topics like football and basketball and give his opinion, and it was distracting the team. So maybe this will be the Cowboys year. Maybe they won't be so distracted because they got Michael Parsons in the locker room. Maybe they can finally win a playoff game. Maybe they can finally get to the NFC Championship after 30 plus years because now Michael Parsons is no longer on the team and your leader Jerry Jones is still pulling the strings and calling the shots.
And that would have led up to my next question, but we're gonna save that for Tuesday night. And because we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of it. Because I had a discussion with somebody today, and I was like, okay, um, Micah Parsons still went from looking up at the Eagles in the NFC East
Exactly.
to go
Oh
looking
well, I mean,
at Detroit
since
in the
but
NFC
since we're
North.
there, everybody now is riding on Green Bay.
I don't
Okay,
know why.
I have no clue because
I don't know
truthfully,
why. Go ahead,
they
Browski.
still not the best team in their own division.
Not at
So
all.
I
Not
don't
by a long shot.
understand why people keep saying, "Oh, they are now the new threat to the Eagles repeating. No, they're not. They have to battle Detroit. They have to
They're not even
battle
the new threat to the Lions
Minnesota.
repeating in the division.
Exa- They lost to the Lions twice
Don't forget
last
about
year.
the Vikings. Right.
Yeah, and
Let's go,
and
Browski.
the Vikings. So
Let's go,
you tell
Browski.
and
Mm-hmm.
improved Chicago Bears.
Yep.
So you
Let's
telling
go,
me
Browski.
that they the biggest threat to us repeating? How about they got to get out of their own division?
How
How
about
about
that?
that? How about that? Because it doesn't
That's right.
matter that Detroit lost both of their coordinators. You know what they didn't lose? The players. Okay? They didn't lose the players and the head coach. So they still are going to be a well-oiled running oil machine there in
Mm-hmm.
the NFC, um, NFC North with Green Bay and Minnesota. So Detroit is still the team to beat in that division. Yes, Green Bay got better with
Yep.
Micah.
Absolutely. Can't front on that.
Yes, they
Yep.
got better, but guess what? They still have to prove that they can beat Detroit. Because they lost to Detroit twice last year. Okay? They lost to
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota twice last year. The only team they beat in that division was Chicago.
And they
So,
lost once to them. They
yes.
lost in the last
So,
game of the season
yes.
to the Bears.
So you have to show that you can beat the teams that's in your division before you can start stepping out of it and thinking about conference championship. I need them to pause on that and pump the brakes real fast on that, okay? Because they bugging out. And I knew that was going to happen. And you know the one thing I knew was going to happen? As soon as Micah got there, here's the Reggie White comparison. Please don't do that. Please don't compare Micah to Reggie White. Okay? Yes, we know that both of them got traded in their prime to Green Bay, and then when Reggie got there, yes, they won the Super Bowl. But don't think that history is going to repeat itself. And now that Mike is there, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They odds to win the Super Bowl jumped up to almost third and fourth odds. Like, what are we doing? It's wild. Like, I need the national media to slow down.
Yeah, but
Slow
see,
down.
this is where the the zaniness meets reality. Like every time a team gets somebody and now they're deemed as this new contender. First of all, you got to figure out if you're one of the top 7 teams in your conference, right? Because there are other teams outside of the teams in your division that you're going to have to see and you're going to have to beat. Now you got Micah Parsons that strengthens your defense a little bit, but nobody's cowering in their boots because what team did Micah Parsons come from? The Dallas Cowboys. And when, how many Super Bowls did Micah Parsons bring them? Or how close did Micah Parsons ever get the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl?
Not that close.
Not at all.
They lost in the
So
first round.
let's go. To who? Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay
You know
Packers. To the Green Bay Packers, the team that cannot
what
beat
I'm
the
saying?
playoffs at
Right.
all. Okay,
Listen, you know what I mean?
is it a
It's
catch? Is it not
ironic,
a
ain't it?
catch?
Right.
They get
It's
blown
ironic.
out. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. Life come at you fast, don't it? Um, yeah, so again, I think that, when you talk about a team like the Green Bay Packers, you put some respect on their name and stuff like that. But again, as far as them going crazy and jumping out the window and doing all this NFC, winning the NFC and all that, I don't know about it. I mean, again, people jump out the window, the hyperbole and this and that, and the third. Then they come back to reality. Then they get mad. Oh well, why is Green Bay 1-2? Why
Exactly.
can't Green Bay beat Detroit? Why can't Green Bay beat Minnesota? They got Michael Parsons. I thought, you thought. Now you're looking crazy out here. Instead of doing the common sense knowledge, you're gonna do the Hollywood knowledge. You're gonna think Micah Parsons is just all of a sudden gonna make Lambeau Field and Vince Lombardi is gonna come back and Bart Starr is gonna come back and Sterling Sharp is gonna come back and Leroy Butler is gonna come back, and AJ Hawk is gonna come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, B, nah. You gonna be all right, but you ain't gonna be all that. And I'm saying that from the door, like with my chest, because you already know Buck Nation in the building. But I'm just saying. So again, we got off the beaten path. We were supposed to be talking about Jerry Jones.
I know
We
but
ain't forget about you, Jerry
it
Jones. We just
definitely
want to have some fun.
is
We
going
just
right
want to have some
now.
fun at your expense. The Dallas Cowboys, man, are a. Y'all been telling me this for the last couple of years. They're not gonna get right till they get rid of Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones gonna live
It seems
forever.
more and more like it seems more and more like that every day. You know what I'm saying? That the Cowboys ain't gonna be right until Jerry Jones is no longer in the picture. Down in Sports Talk, we are in the building, making it do what it do on a Saturday night. Y'all feel the vibe. We coming right back at you on Tuesday night, live and direct. You already know 2025 NFL preview. We know how we gonna give it up because it's the NFC side, and we're gonna get into the whole thing. Browski's already got her wardrobe is already set. You know what I mean? So we and my wardrobe is already set too. Let's get it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We got like about 10 good minutes, so you know how we do at the end of the show. Browski's favorite part of the program. We get down on it. What we getting down on today, Browski?
I gotta get down on ignorance all over again in the
Mm-mm,
world of tennis.
mm-mm,
Um,
mm-mm, mm-mm. Talk about it.
the player I'm talking about, Taylor Thompson,
Mm-hmm.
um, black tennis, unranked tennis star, at the U.S. Open. She had a match Saturday. No, was it Saturday? I don't think it was Saturday. I think it was like Friday, either Thursday or Friday, against Jelena Opecton. Can't
Ozempic
believe
or something. I don't know.
something like that. Yeah, but her name is Jelena.
Mm-hmm.
And after Taylor beat her, she said that she's basically clashless,
Mm-hmm.
um, rude, ignorant,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
um, wait till I see you outside the United
Right.
States.
Right. Right.
I said, "Whoa, is that
Mm-hmm.
a threat? Like, wait till you. What are you gonna do to me
Mm-hmm.
when you see
Are
me
you
outside the
right?
U.S.?
Are
Are
you
you
threatening me?
what are we doing?" And this is just another example of what these women have to go against in the sport of tennis. Tennis
Mm-hmm.
has been looked at as one of those quote unquote white sports. Um, only the prestige and the elite,
Mm-hmm.
and the wealthy, play tennis. And now, a lot of their tennis greats are white women.
Mm-hmm.
Not only just white women, white foreign women, white European women, you know, and since Venus and Serena really hit the scenes in the late 90s. um there's been a lot of racial things, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure there, of course, it was a lot more, but it wasn't as public because it was probably against a player that wasn't ranked or didn't had as high of notoriety as Venus and Serena had. We all know, they was calling them manly, and then they had the braids with the beads, and oh, that's distracting. Oh, they were screaming while they're doing the service,
Mm-hmm.
distracting. They must be on steroids because how can they be so strong? How are they serving 120 miles per hour serves, and winners? Like they have to be on something. It couldn't just be
Right. This
them
natural
being
talent.
strong. This natural strength and natural talent. It had to be
Mm-hmm.
something. Then, you fast forward to the new generation. You got the Coco Gauffs, the Naomi Osakas. I mean, you even
Mm-hmm.
have players who wasn't who hasn't like really like won that much, like the Sloane Stevensons
Mm.
and um uh,
What was the
what's her
chick name? Alexandra.
oh,
I forget her name. I think it was first name was Alexandra. I know.
yeah, I can't think of but you have those other black tennis stars, and now we have another one in Taylor Townsend, who, like I said, unranked, plays hard, beat her, in the U.S. Open, and being the sore loser that she,
Mm-mm.
is right after the match is over. They do the handshake, and she's like, like berating her right there on the
Mm-hmm.
court.
Mm-hmm. Get finger, pointing the finger at it and all that.
The
Yeah.
finger and everything, right there on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's so ridiculous. It's like, just take your L. She was better than you on this day.
Mm-hmm.
Take your L, go home, think about what happened, and get back on the court and get better. But just don't stand there and talk down on her, and calling her classless, and saying she's rude, and just going 10 toes deep in her for no reason, and then say, wait till I see you outside the U.S. See me now, sis.
Right. See
We
me
on
now.
the
Let's get it
court.
cracking right now.
See me now.
Right.
Why we gotta wait till we go,
Right.
to
Right.
Australia
Why we got to
or
get it cracking in your
England?
in your time
Yeah,
zone? Let's get it
see,
cracking right now.
see me now. We're right here. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that it's ridiculous. And then, she could have called back, and now she apologized.
Right.
But
Right.
I
Right.
don't want
Right.
to hear none of that stuff, because you're only apologizing because it got blown up, because you look crazy, and you was in the wrong.
That's
And
right.
you have players like Coco and Naomi who's sticking up for Taylor. It's this saying, yo, that was crazy, that was wild, like, you shouldn't have done that. And it's just ridiculous that still had to go through this. There should be some type of consequences for her doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Word up.
where's her punishment? They need to
Right.
do something.
That's right.
What
We're in
she
the
did
building,
now.
man. Down in sports. I'm getting down on Arch Manning. Um, I just think that Ohio State gave you everything and more. You just wasn't ready for it. I don't want to call it first game jitters because a lot is expected out of you, my guy. You know what I mean? Again, you got a whole season to redeem yourself. Again, you're not out of the college football playoff picture by a long shot, but it's just that you know how this society works, man. You know what I mean? They put you on this big platform, this big pedestal. You know what I mean? And at least you could do is show up. You know,
Yeah.
7 points on the road. Your offensive minded head coach Steve Sarkisian. You got weapons around you. You just couldn't get it done. I'm not gonna dump on you and say that the season's over or you're gonna be a fifth round draft pick. No, I'm not gonna say that. But again, at the end of the day, this whole show is about people putting the cart before the horse. Talk about what you're gonna do and don't do it. So again, at the end of the day, we get ready to get up out of here. Down in sports, dope show. How we give it up Saturday. You already know the vibes. That's Yada Bear over there. I'm left-handed, also known as RM Des, right on X right now. Make sure you check us out Tuesday. We got the NFL preview coming, all that
Yep.
good stuff. Um, Clemson and LSU is on right now. Notre Dame and
Halftime.
Miami tomorrow. North Carolina and TCU on Monday. Bowski don't go nowhere. We're gonna talk to y'all on Tuesday night. All right, down in Sports Up. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.